How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, oh Lord my God, light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken, but I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, oh Lord my God, light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken, but I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to consider and answer me, oh Lord my God, light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken, but I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to consider and answer me, oh Lord my God, light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken, but I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God, light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken, but I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God, light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken, but I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to consider and answer me, O Lord my God, light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken, but I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to consider.
Hey, well, welcome to Wednesday. Good morning, everybody. Brad here with Big Family Homestead Devotions, soon to be WYSIWYG only, WYSIWYG Ministries channel coming up soon. Good morning to you all. Hope you're having a blessed day. We're going to continue on in 2 Samuel 20. And let me tell you what, a lot of stuff has happened from the disobedience of one guy. There's a lot to learn here, and it's not just the drama and craziness, war, division, jealousy. There's a lot to learn here, and it's not just the history of this. I got to tell you what, it's like we're tearing this page right out of history and plopping it right into today, and we can completely see. Did I say it's Thursday? Did I say it's Wednesday? My button's not buttoned up. That's the problem. Man, I'm off. Look at that. Slacker, looking all disheveled. I apologize to you. Welcome to Thursday. Good morning. It is Thursday. So, a lot to learn in here. We're going to read the scriptures. We're going to unpack it. Boom, we're in the ESV version of the Bible. If you don't have one and you want to follow along, you can go to BibleGateway.com. Or, by the way, here's a resource for you guys that's free that is incredibly powerful. You can download it, and then obviously there's like extra doodads you can purchase for $5. But the main thing is free, and that's sword, like, battle, like SWORD, as in electric, and sword. It's so cool because you can reference different words, different phrases. You can bring up several different translations and look and compare them all at once. If you were like, well, I want to see what the King James has to say next to the ESV, next to this, next to that, you can totally do that, and it's free. Sword. And I would highly recommend it for your own personal study and, just daily reading. So let's say good morning to the first page of participants, and we are going to get going. Good morning to Tammy. She's first here. Thank you for that thing you sent in the mail, that gift. Thank you, Tammy. Honestly and truthfully, I cannot tell you how grateful we are for all of you guys' support. It's been incredibly challenging lately, and your support is the only reason why we're able to still do this. So thank you all. Good morning to Tammy, Yard Prepper Danny, Pepper Leah, Lax, Tanya, Meg, Plan with Jen, Lola Granola. Speaking of other folks who support, thank you very much. Meg, Moni, Little Miss Prepper, Delaney B, Cooper D. Wee, Moni, Pepper Leah, Jean Marie. Good morning to Eileen, Short Pants Bee Farm. Hey, Dan. Good morning to Moni, Yarn Prepper, Cooper D. Wee, John, and many, many more. Good morning to you all. Say hi to Sue, John. Good morning. Clink. All right. Let's read, and then we're going to unpack. Okay. Hopefully my eyeballs are working today, and we can get through, because this is, it's not a terribly long passage, but it's longer than we have been reading lately. So here we go. Chapter 20, verse 1. Mark set. Here we go. Now, there happened to be, let me start that again, because it's always interesting when you see somebody being called out throughout all of history being a worthless person. And here you go. Here's a worthless man. Now, there happened to be there a worthless man whose name was Sheba, son of Bichri, a Benjaminite. And he blew the trumpet and said, we have no portion in David, and we have no inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tents, O Israel. So all the men of Israel withdrew from David and followed Sheba, the son of Bichri. But the men of Judah followed their king steadfastly from the Jordan to Jerusalem. And David came to his house at Jerusalem, and he took the 10 concubines whom he had left to care for the house, and put them in a house under guard, and provided for them. But he did not go into them. So they were shut up until the day of their death, living as if in widowhood. Then the king said to Amasa, call the men of Judah together call the men of Judah together to me within 3 days, and be here yourself. So Amasa went to summon Judah, but he delayed beyond the set time he had been appointed him. And David said to Abishai, now Sheba the son of Bichri will do more harm than Absalom. Take your Lord's servants and pursue him, lest he get himself to a fortified city and escape from us. And there went out after him Joab's men, and the Kerethites, and the Pelethites, and all the mighty men. They went out from Jerusalem to pursue Sheba the son of Bichri, when they were at the great stone that is Gibeon. Amasa came to meet them. Now Joab was wearing a soldier's garment, and over it was a belt with a sword in its sheath fastened on his thigh. And as he went forward, it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, Is it well with you, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with his right hand to kiss him, but Amasa did not observe the sword that was in Joab's hand. Joab struck him with it in the stomach and spilled his entrails to the ground without striking a second blow, and he died. Then Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued Sheba, the son of Bichri, and one of Joab's young men stood by his side of Amasa and said, "Whoever favors Joab and whoever is for David, let him follow Joab." And Amasa lay wallowing in his blood in the highway, and anyone who came by, seeing him, stopped. And when the man saw that all the people stopped, he carried Amasa out of the highway into the field and threw a garment over him. When he was taken out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue Sheba, the son of Bichri. And Sheba passed through all the tribes of Israel to Abel of Beth-maachah, and all the Bichriites assembled and followed him in. And all the men who were with Joab came and besieged him in Abel of Beth-maachah. They cast up a mound against the city, and it stood against the rampart, and they were battering the wall to throw it down. Then a wise woman called from the city, "Listen, listen. Tell Joab, 'Come here that I may speak to you.' And he came near to her, and the woman said, 'Are you Joab?' And he said, 'I am.' Then she said to him, 'Listen to the words of your servant.' And he answered, 'I am listening.' Then she said, 'They used to say in former times, let them but ask counsel at Abel.' And so they settled the matter. I am one of those who are peaceable and faithful in Israel. You seek to destroy a city that is a mother in Israel. Why will you swallow up the heritage of the Lord?" Joab answered, "Far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. That is not true. But a man of the hill country of Ephraim, called Sheba, son of Bichri, has lifted up his hand against King David. Give up him alone, and I will withdraw from the city." And the woman said to Joab, "Behold, his head shall be thrown to you over the wall." Then the woman went to all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba the son of Bichri, and threw it out to Joab. So he blew the trumpet, and they dispersed from the city, every man to his home. And Joab returned to Jerusalem to the king. Now Joab was in command of all the army of Israel, and Benaiah son of Jehoiada, and was in command of the Kerethites and the Pelethites, and Adoram was in charge of the forced labor, and Jehoshaphat the son of Ahilud was the recorder, and Shiva was secretary, and Zadok and Abiathar were priests, and Ira the Jairite was also David's priest. Okay. All right. Let's get to it. Okay. First things first, just the briefest reminder. The war is over. The uprising, the coup is over. David is now returning. Absalom is dead. He has not yet gotten back to Jerusalem as this story begins, as this retelling, as this account begins. Then he gets there, but we're starting before. Okay. Now, you have brand new treaties in place. Unity, it's very shaky. You've got Judah, who sides with David, period, 100%. But not everybody's happy. And it turns out that you've got this Benjaminite named Sheba, who obviously thought Absalom was a better deal. And now that Absalom's dead, you got David heading back home. This is just not going to fly. So he starts a rebellion. He starts rising up the people against David, who's slowly returning home. Well, interestingly enough, that he's a Benjaminite. And not that all Benjaminites are bad, but guess who else was a Benjaminite? Anybody? Anybody who was from the tribe of Benjamin that might be noteworthy? Anybody? Anybody? 5, 4, 3, 2. I know there's a delay. King Saul, BP Devo. You are correct, Delaney B. and Catherine. Saul. There was a lot of people that were still unhappy about this whole thing. And now, Goliath. True. Was he? No. He would know he was a Philistine. But you've got a lot of people who are unhappy. Saul died. Then remember, who was the general in charge of Saul's army before he died? And then after he died, he was the general was the one who was trying to make peace and bring Israel together under the leadership of David, remember? And he was trying to basically set himself up as the general for the new Israel, the unified Israel, the one Israel. Guys, remember that guy's name? Anybody? Anybody? That general rhymes with Abner. Oh, shoot. It is Abner. Abner. And he's going to come back into our mind in just a very short amount of time because of Joab. Abner. What happened to Abner? Do you guys remember what happened to Abner? Somebody type this in because it's just, we had the preview with Abner, and now we've got the sequel with Amasa. Anybody? Okay. So, same thing. We're watching. Joab killed him too. Same way. It's kind of like, I wonder if this is his calling card. Doesn't it seem like Joab is kind of like a mob boss? Like, kind of like, he'll take care of business. David, you just stay over there and don't worry about it. I'll take care of things. He's not really necessarily the boss, but he's way up there on the food chain. He's the enforcer guy that the boss says, hey, I need to deal with something. And then he does it. And it's just done. Doesn't it seem like that? Like, even the way that his calling card is, he doesn't just kill the guy outright, whoever the guy is. He hurts him in a way that he's going to hurt and bleed out and be in pain for a long time. So a lot of people would see it. It's kind of like, it's just as much of a killing as it is a calling card. Do not cross this guy. He means business. And we're going to see that here again. So, the uprising. You got this guy, Sheba, who the Bible calls a worthless man. Man. All right, they're chasing him down. And David, they realize what's going on, I should say. And then David appoints Amasa, remember? Treaty general, like, hey, general, come on over here. Let's all be one big happy family, because David needs that military. He needs it. So he gives Amasa Joab's job. Now, Amasa realistically doesn't have enough time to summon all of the army to go get this usurper, this, revolutionary, this Sheba. But he was told, do it in 3 days, and he didn't say anything. He agreed to it, and he went out to do it, but it says he didn't get it done. He didn't get it done. So I don't know if Joab was going, all right, this is my time to take back my place in a very, very big way. Maybe he just thought, this is perfect. I'm going to take my spot. And he had his chance. He didn't do it. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to let this rebellion come and crush the king and Israel? We're going to just let everything get destroyed? Trust me when I say I'm not thinking that Joab's a good guy. I'm just saying he must have thought, all right, this nonsense ends. If he was like that kind of mob enforcer working directly for the boss, maybe right under the boss, this nonsense ends today, and we're going to make a big, clear message. So Joab goes up, and it's just like a contract ending of a life, isn't it? He walks up to him. Hey, brother, reaches out to kiss him, it says, grabs him by the beard, flunk, into the belly. And it says, yeah, in the stomach, and spilled his entrails to the ground without striking a second blow. Now, as gross as that is, Joab, brutal. He could have just ended him, but no, what's it say? He laid there wallowing in his blood in the highway. And they did that as a sign. He did that as a sign. Anybody who's thinking you want to follow this Sheba guy, okay, you want to follow David? You want to follow Joab? Take your pick, guys. What do you want to do? You want to be a part of the uprising? You want to follow Amasa? You want to be that guy? You want to pick who you gonna serve? And oddly enough, it seems like they all kind of just pick David and Joab. Isn't that how it is? Brutal force is an incredible motivator for a lot of people that might have been on the fence thinking, well, you know what? This Sheba guy, he's saying a lot of true things about David. Sheba was telling everybody that David actually took somebody's wife. They're saying that David murdered a guy, and that's what started all this. And then they're saying that David's son did to Tamar. Can you believe that? Cannot be our king. What if it's true? You know, people would have heard stuff. What about those fence riders? The ones thinking, well, I kind of want to stay out of it, but hey, I would support Sheba. Think about it like it would be today. We get bits and pieces of information about big events, but we don't see the whole thing. We don't see the back end story. We don't see what this son did or didn't do because it was recorded by himself. I'll stop there. We get to see bits and pieces, but we don't get to see the whole thing. And we make decisions based on limited information. Now, here's one of the big questions of the day. We can see in this account all of the dirty dealings. We can see not only just the killing, but we can see the attitude of, I'm going to use pain to motivate you to do what I want, like Joab. We can see all kinds of the sides of humanity in here. But here's the question. When it comes to stuff that is out of your pay grade, let's just say that you're one of the people that happens to be living in that city, and you're hearing all this stuff. You're seeing it on the news. Let's say it that way. You're seeing it on the news. You're just living in your house. You're living life, and you're seeing all this news, and you're trying to figure out, am I supposed to be swayed by this? This seems pretty bad. Like, our leader did this, and this. That seems pretty bad. Maybe I should side with this guy over here or this woman. What does the Bible say about us getting heavily involved in politics as New Testament believers? Can anybody tell me? I mean, God directs the steps and orders the kings to come and go, right? God does that. What does God maybe I should rephrase that. Where does God say, hey, you know what? I want you to get straight up in the middle of the dirty dealings of politics, and I want you to, as a Christian, be able to, think that way, live that way, do those things, because I don't see it. And if it's not there, if there's no encouragement to get involved in all that muck, when there's nothing you can do about it anyway, because they're going to make the decisions, think about Herod, during Jesus' time, all those babies that he killed. Could those parents have stopped the Roman soldiers? And even if it blows my mind to think that we will all of a sudden at one point go, you know what? I'm going to stop paying taxes. Exactly, Meg. Thank you. That's where I'm going. If you decide I'm going to stop paying taxes because Rome is Rome, and I don't like Rome, and Rome does bad things. Meg says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. It's none of my business. I'm forced to, by law, give them a percentage of the stuff that I have. I don't have a choice in it. I don't have a choice in it. Good call, BP Devo. This is where we're going. We're ambassadors of a different kingdom. You have allegiance to a different king. You're just here occupying space for a while. Why stick my nose in the kingdom of this world? Okay, Steve says, I believe we should be involved in politics. Minimally, God can use us through our votes and influence. Okay. I actually agree with that to a degree. As long as we don't get covered in all the muck. Don't, see, the problem is with a lot of politics is that if you ever want to get anything done, air quotes, the elder statesman will say, hey, if you want your project done, I can get it done for you. I'll pull the votes. I'll get everybody on my side. I'll do it. However, you're going to have to do this, this, and this for me. And it's that deal with the devil. And I've never seen anybody not have to make those choices. And I've known a bunch of politicians. They all start with good intentions. And then if you want anything done, you got to play ball. If you know of somebody who is still pure, get behind them, support them. Anyway, let's see what else. Delaney B, we shouldn't be consumed with worry about it. I agree. For it is in God's hands. He predestined everything to be. Now, if we have the chance, we must proclaim the Christ. Yes, I agree. That exactly. Thank you. Yep. Three Fingers says, be in the world, but not of it. I agree. Jess says, I'll work the local elections just to make sure those are fair. It's pretty awesome, actually. Yeah, I agree. Do it. Here's the thing, I guess, guys. Do what you can do with what's in your world. And stuff like this that's way out of our league. Let's say that you're what's outside of our league. There's no reason fretting about it and worrying about it and stewing over it and let your stress level get up. Because if there's nothing you can do about it, there's nothing you can do about it. But every once in a while, something lands in your lap and you have to make a decision like this with Joab. Joab took Amasa out and he left him there writhing so that everyone would have to make a decision. Like, who are you going to serve? And there was no question about the fact that you better make a choice as this guy's writhing on the ground. You got to make a choice, right? So, choose this day who you will serve. And I'm going to go back to the first comment that BP Devo made, which is, we are ambassadors of a different kingdom. Why stick my nose in this one? Here's the thing. I know a lot of people who are very, very, very patriotic, and I would say that I am more patriotic than most that I know. But the real question is, where is my real allegiance? Am I allied to the United States of America more than I am allied to being a member in the family of God? Am I an ambassador for Christ truly? Am I really a citizen of heaven and I just happen to be here and like this country? Or do I align myself with, I'm an American and I'm going to fight for this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and da-da-da-da? Bottom line, guys, is America, first of all, it used to be different. Or at least we had the illusion that it was different. Now, the reality is, whose are you? Are you more for the United States or more for Christ? And I mean it sincerely like that. And I've told you this story, probably comes up maybe once every other year or so, or every yearish. I used to work at this church, and there were a lot of veterans who had fought in World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, and respect. Nothing but respect, nothing but love, nothing but gratitude for those folks. So I can understand why they'd get really ticked off about this. But up in front of the church, next to the altar, you'd have an American flag and you'd have a Christian flag. Now, if we are truly, truly citizens of heaven, then our allegiance should not be to America first. It's just that simple. And again, respect, love, but are we citizens of heaven, or are we people who live here and that's what's most important? And what happened was this. The pastor recognized that this was an unhealthy attitude, that people were identifying more with the United States of America and allegiance to that more than they were their own spiritual lives. And so this person removed the flag, just quietly, just didn't say anything. They didn't get rid of it. They didn't throw it away. They didn't burn it. But with respect, they moved it to the lobby. You would have thought that World War X had started. People were mad that the flag of the country that you are not an ambassador for was moved. So the question today, guys, is an excellent question, is where's your allegiance lie? The people that were living there and saw what was going on with Joab and Amasa, they had a very in-your-face encounter where they were forced to decide who I will serve, whom this day, choose this day whom you will serve. Well, there it is. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way to anybody who served. If you guys know, there's a flag, Marine Corps, don't tread on me. I spent time in the service, not as much as I'd like. I was in the Marine Corps for a short time, but I do not have the high honor of being called a Marine because the Gulf War broke out and I was in the band. I didn't get to graduate. I wanted to. I wanted to play saxophone, but I didn't get to. I can say that while I wish that I had the honor of being called Marine, I don't. But I respect those men and women. Huge respect. However, the question is, whose are you? Are you a child of God, Or do you just cling to this place that will be replaced? Simple question. Whose are you? Don Crisp, God, Family, Country, in that order. Isn't it core, God, family, country? That's what I was told. My point, guys, is you have a choice. You can get caught up in the stuff of this world and I don't mean to be rude, but worship it by accident or maybe even intent. You can. It's easy to do. Or you can recognize that I'm not a citizen of this place. I'm here as an ambassador, and I will live for God. I'm not going to disrespect where I live, but I'm not going to idolize it either. See, that's the big deal. Steve says, how about hanging a flag of a cross or ichthus? Well, okay, gonna go long today. Steve, this is your fault 100%. I had a conversation with Tyler Woods, BP Devo. I don't even remember, maybe about a week ago. And we were talking about this very thing. And he and I have similar ideas that we really wish the United States was what we had thought it was. And it's just not. And we both want to have back the idea that we grew up with of the United States really being that shining city on a hill, really doing good in the world, really not building empires, not, propping up dictators, not running drug trade, not doing all the stuff that we know they're doing now. And it's all coming, it's all right there in the public eye now. You can't avoid it. We, BP Devo and I, were having this semi-angry, not with each other, but semi-angry conversation about how we wish that it was the way it was. And he was saying, I'm putting up a flag in my yard and I don't care who sees it because I am pro United States. And I said, well, yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with the idea of the United States. However, are we citizens of heaven or are we citizens of God? And we had this conversation. And I said, dude, I'm gonna challenge you. I said, I dare you, double dog dare. It was like a funny moment. I said, I double dog dare you. Why don't you put up, instead of putting up a flag of the United States, who you're saying by putting the flag up, this is my allegiance. My allegiance is to this. Why not put up a Christian flag and just see if any conversations happen in your neighborhood? Just see what happens. Will HOAs say you must take that down because it's offensive? I don't think he lives in an HOA. He lives out in the country. But you see my point? Will conversations happen? Why are you got that flag up there? What the heck flag is that? I don't even know. Will good conversations happen? Will bad conversations happen? Where's your allegiance? So it'll be interesting to see because I know that he bought one. I know he's planning on putting it up if he already has not put it up. Where's your allegiance? Ask Hermit. You got to Google it. I think the way I remember it, there's a lot of white on a flag. There's a square, and there is a Christian flag. Well, and Don and Three Fingers, you guys know I appreciate all the service. I do. I'll go to bat for every one of you guys and ladies. But the real question is, whose allegiance do you have? It's simple. If your allegiance is to this place, as much as I really, really love the idea of what the United States should be, if your allegiance is here, you've tied yourself to something that is going to fail, burn, and rot. Think about it. All righty. So we'll see what BP Devo has to say about his flag. I'm interested to see. Truly interested. We don't put a flag up at all outside because I don't want to disrespect anybody or anything. And in order to have it properly displayed, there's certain criteria that you're supposed to follow. Most people don't know it. You can't have a flag. Here's one of them. You can't, or you shouldn't. You can do whatever you want, but you shouldn't have a flag hanging outside at night without a light on it. That's one of the things. Now, not my circus, not my monkeys, because that's not my allegiance. My allegiance is to heaven. My allegiance is to my true Father who redeemed me with his own blood. My allegiance is to Christ who sacrificed himself for me, my kids, you. So that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, let's pray. Father God, thank you so very much for how you love us. Thank you for being able to talk openly about uncomfortable conversations like this. Lord, I ask that if anyone is thinking about this conversation, I would ask that you would weigh on them the question, who do I serve? Whose am I? Am I of this world, or do I serve you? Is my allegiance with you? And if my allegiance is with you, is there any step I need to take to make that known or change something? Love you, Jesus. Thank you. Amen. Tough conversations, guys. They got to be had. Where's your allegiance? I'm telling you, watch the movie 1984 or read the book, and you'll see a lot that's going on right now. Anyway, don't forget, Monday morning, WYSIWYG. You got to spread this out on your social media, or else nobody's going to be there on Monday, and it'll be like 12 people show up. Well, and geez, oh Pete's, there's 50 folks watching right now, and only 23 have clicked the like button. Come on. Well, come on. Did I not do a good enough job for you? Come on now. Hugs and kisses. See ya. Bye.
For the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit. In the bond of peace there is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to the one hope that belongs to your call. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. But grace was given to each one of us according to the measure of Christ's gift. Therefore it says, when he ascended on high, he led a host of captives, and he gave gifts to men. In saying he ascended, What does it mean but that he had also descended into the lower regions, the earth? He who descended is the one who also ascended far above all the heavens,
that he might fill all things.
and he gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the shepherds and teachers,
To equip the saints
for the work of ministry, for building up the body of Christ,
until we all attain to the unity
of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to mature manhood,
to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ,
so that we may no longer be children, tossed to and fro by the waves and carried about by every wind of doctrine, by human cunning, by craftiness, in deceitful schemes, rather speaking the truth in love. We are to grow up in every way into him who is the head, into Christ, from whom the whole body joined and held together by every joint with which it is equipped, when each part is working properly, makes the body grow so that it builds itself up in love. Now this I say and testify in the Lord, that you must no longer walk as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their minds. They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to their hardness of heart. They have become callous and have given themselves up to sensuality, greedy to practice every kind of impurity. But that is not the way you learned Christ, assuming that you have heard about him and were taught in him as the truth is in Jesus, to put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self,
created after the likeness
of God in true righteousness and holiness. Therefore, having put away falsehood, let each one of you speak the truth with his neighbor. For we are members of one another. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and give no opportunity to the devil. Let the thief no longer steal, but rather let him labor doing honest work with his own hands, so that he might have something to share with anyone in need. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth, but only such as is good for building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear, and do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave